Hi everybody, welcome to Monday Night Q&A with Coach Rebecca. I am back. I was gone last week and I'm excited to be back here with you guys today answering questions from members of the Perform Happy community. So a little intro if we are just meeting. My name is Rebecca Smith. I have a master's in sports psychology as well as a background coaching gymnastics, competing gymnastics, and now I specialize in helping athletes overcome fear and mental blocks, build confidence, and ultimately build mental toughness so that you can perform at your best. And I especially specialize, hi Trisha. I specialize in working with athletes age 8 to 18. Hi Heather. Oh, Heather's here, not torn down by the hurricane. Was really happy to hear that. So my questions today from the Perform Happy community are on one of my favorite topics, success. We've got two girls, and I love how, one's in the UK, one's in the US, and they both in the same week are in the community posting about their successes, that they've overcome these blocks. One of them, it was 1.5 years. The other one, I think it was close to the same amount of time that they'd had what we call mental blocks, which is basically where your brain is resisting a certain skill. And this happens a lot in sports like gymnastics, diving, figure skating, where it's scary sports. And essentially your brain makes a decision for you that what you're attempting is not safe. And of course, those of you who do sports like that know that it is actually safe because you've trained, you've got the right equipment, you have the right mats, you have a harness, you have something, you've got coaches, it's a skill that's typically safe and one that you've done before, but for some reason, your brain is not letting your body execute the skill. So I've come up with these couple of courses. One of them's on fear, and the most recent was mental toughness boot camp that kids have been having some really good results with. So I'll read these questions and then I'll answer them. So the first one is, now that my daughter has competed the twist, she was struggling with a back layout with a 1.5 twist. She hadn't done it in years, 1.5 years. Now that my daughter has competed the twist, should she continue to set weekly goals still around that to make sure it's totally secure, or to move on to the next block, giants? Hi, Suzanne. Okay, then the next question is, once they've defeated a block, should we be helping them move on to the next challenge? How much time should we give? I want to build on her confidence while she's in a great place, but I'm fearful of it being another setback. Okay, and these are awesome questions because that really gives me an opportunity to talk about the backslide. And I have personally struggled with fear both in gymnastics and out of gymnastics. Fear is something that I've got a lot of experience with, both helping people and helping myself, and something that I've learned through helping people and through my own personal experience is that once you start to get a little footing and you start to build a little confidence, you get a little excited sometimes. And so I'm going to give a little example of myself when I was wakeboarding. When I first started to wakeboard, I popped up on the wakeboard and I was cruising. I was like, oh wow, this is not so hard. My gymnastics agility stuck with me. I got up there and I was like, all right, I'm doing good. So then I kind of started to go back and forth a little bit, and I was like, I got this. And I jumped awake and boom, face plant. 30 miles an hour face plant, not fun. And I was done for the day and I was like, okay, just kidding. I don't have this covered. And that's kind of, it can be how it goes sometimes, where you get a little excited. Of course, you haven't done the skill in however long, and then all of a sudden you're doing a face plant. Well, you have to sometimes take it little by little. So that might not happen. They might just have the skill and run with it. But the reason why that happens typically is because you kind of you forget what worked to begin with. So what works for these girls, it might be slightly different. Everybody, it's slightly different. But what really works to get you over a block is starting to listen to your brain. Your brain is shutting your body off because you're not listening to it. So what your brain is telling you is, I don't feel confident enough. This is not safe. I need some help. And so I'm pretty confident that these girls have started to go, okay, I need a little help. I need a spot. I need a mat. I need something. I got to give my brain a little help here. And what happens when you get confident is you start to think, I shouldn't need a spot anymore. I shouldn't need a mat anymore. I should be fine. So I'll try it anyway, even though I'm hearing the familiar squeal of my brain going, wait, I don't feel safe. So that has to stay there, that foundation of if your brain needs some help, let it have it. And I just heard that Samantha Pezic, who was an Olympian in '08, she needed spots. She got to a place where she needed spots sometimes, and that was leading all the way up to the Olympics. That she might, on the first one, she might need a spot still. This is a girl who went to the Olympics, so it's not that you're a bad person or a bad gymnast if every once in a while you have an off day and you just need another spot. So that's the first thing, is that what can cause backsliding is getting too excited, not taking your time through the progressions to actually rebuild lasting confidence, and then forgetting that your brain is ultimately in charge. So you have to listen to it. You might as well listen to it, right? Okay, so if you've got that covered, that these girls are making their success, one's got her giants, one's twisting again on floor, they know if I get that not so confident feeling, I'm going to do the same thing that worked up to this point, and I'm not going to expect myself to be a hero. I always tell kids, don't be a hero, get a spot if you need one. Okay, so that can kind of help them maintain. Now, as far as moving forward, one of the things I talk about in the fear course is finding 7. I've talked about this on the Q&A before. You have to make sure that you're pushing yourself out of your comfort zone enough every single day that you stay comfortable being uncomfortable. If that's the other pitfall, is that you get stuck kind of wanting to feel good because you're like, oh yeah, I'm not afraid anymore, and then you don't really want to go try and be afraid again. So now that both of these girls are kind of used to pushing through and just like getting past that last bit of fear that allows you to do your skill, you really do want to keep the momentum up, but not to the point where you're getting yourself to be balking again. So you're listening to your brain. What does my brain need? And you're constantly pushing yourself. Hi, Cindy. You're pushing yourself so that you're staying a little bit uncomfortable. So if you are at a 10 out of 10 on confidence, then it's going to be easy to do that skill. But then when you think about doing the scary skill, you're like, oh, no thanks, I'll pass. So instead, you want to always be, making a concerted effort to keep moving yourself out of your comfort zone, and don't worry about it causing a backslide as long as you're doing it the right way. So if you're trying something that sends your brain into shutdown, then yeah, that will transfer into other things like school confidence and lack of confidence in other events. So you want to make sure that you're just pushing the limits of comfort enough, but not to the point where you are, slamming that door shut on your confidence. So hopefully that makes sense. If it doesn't, please, let me know and I'll clarify. But it's about pushing your limits, but staying within something reasonable and not pushing too hard to where you shut down. So yeah, you don't want to stay stagnant. And one thing that I think worked well for these girls in Mental Toughness Boot Camp was that there's a couple things that I really emphasize, is being able to stay uncomfortable because you're driving towards something bigger. And if you can keep that desire burning, why do you want that skill? Why the next skill? Why is that important to you? And what is the evidence in the past that you can pull from that, well, I did this, which was really scary and hard, and I did this, so then I believe I can do, the next thing. And also stay aware. Another big part of Mental Toughness Boot Camp was about awareness. And some of the exercises that you guys did every day were about being aware of how your body feels, how your emotions feel, what's coming up for you, and being okay with being uncomfortable. So keep up that work. Keep setting the goals, keep sitting with yourself, keep doing everything just like you did for Mental Toughness Boot Camp, and carry that into the next skills, because then you're going to start kind of racking up these successes, knowing you can always ask for a spot if you have a funky day, but it builds and it carries into school. Just like the negative confidence kind of takes away from school, takes away from other events, as you build confidence in one area, it expands into other ones too. So I want you guys to, let's not live little, let's live big. Let's not play not to lose. Like, oh, well, we're okay. We don't want to mess it up. No, go big. Why don't you get all your skills? We didn't sign up for this to get like one skill. You want all your skills. You didn't want just some confidence. You want all your confidence. Something that I would recommend you guys do is the confidence ladder. And this is of course, in the community. And anyone who's not in the community, you guys can download one for free right now at completeperformancecoaching.com/confidence-ladder. And the confidence ladder it's an 8-week goal setting template so that you can basically create stair steps to where you want to be. Because they call them in the psychology world, successive approximations. It's just little steps along the way that you're kind of easing into the scary thing. And if you look at, something you want to do in the next 2 months, it might feel too big or too scary. But if you can break it down into, what's the action step for just this week? And then, of course, for you members, post it in the forum so that I can give you feedback, make sure that you're setting goals in a way that's going to be really effective and it holds you accountable. And we all get to celebrate when you get it. So if anybody else has questions, you guys can go ahead and put them in. I'll be here for just one more second. So to kind of recap, don't rush it. Don't get too cocky. Be okay with, like getting up and just riding the wakeboard for a little bit. You don't have to start jumps right away. You can just take it little by little and build lasting confidence rather than just like chuck it and hope it works. You guys obviously know that because you're starting to see some results. And the great thing about Mental Toughness Bootcamp is you guys can do it over and over. And that's actually how I intended it. That if you can do it, like once a month or once a quarter to just kind of re-up that self-belief, that confidence, and keep building on those daily action steps and daily skills that are going to help you get where you want to go. That's what I recommend. So again, you can download our freebie today at completeperformancecoaching.com/confidence-ladder. If you have questions for me, members can find me in the Ask Rebecca forum. Of course, you get first priority. Anybody else can send me a question at rebecca@performhappy.com. And I'll see you guys again next week.